Hey guys, how are you all doing? Hello, hello, hello. Oh wow, that's very quiet. Okay, there we go. That should all look about right. Alright then, let's get started. This is my first time opening it. I only got the invite yesterday. So everything is going to be a bit new. From what I understand, this is... Oh! There she is. The newest character and probably my main, Junker Queen. And all of the collectibles have now transferred. So this is a new thing. In Overwatch 1, all of your previous collectibles now become unlocked in Overwatch 2. So you have the old classic ones, I believe, if you've played one, and now you also get the classic 2. I'm not gonna lie, I do like a lot of the newer skins. I do like a lot of the newer looks. Currently, those are the only ones that there are. Ooh. For some reason, Dr. Ziegler has gone on twice. And then it appears you're able to buy them for the new ones if they're out of events. Still got her golden gun. Sprays. Everything you've like unlocked in the old game, you still have now. Which I think is very, very clever. What is the one Junker Queen unlock? It is a golden weapon. Ooh, that's quite cool. Very nice. I do like these. So let's have a bit of a meander through some of the newer looks because I haven't seen all of them. Diva's is very nice. It's much more. It's almost a more mature look compared to her old one. The mecha's got upgraded. Her design looks a lot sleeker. Now we're actually fitting some armor onto it, mostly in the top section from the looks. Not my favorite, but it's fine. Doomfist. Ooh. Very cool. Sort of accentuating the previous designs and adding in newer details. I think I've said this about a lot of the newer looks. They're similar to the old ones, but almost smoother. Not because of the new upgrade systems and basically better game development they're doing. A lot of the old, harsher, more rigid, solid metallic is now actually being more curved metallic looks. I think this is most visible in characters like Winston. So if I pull up his like original classic, yeah, it's very boxy. It's very like rigid. It's like corner slabbed rather than being curved. It's cut into a diagonal. Versus the new one where it's a lot more rounded. Got a lot more curves. It's still got that rectangular shape for his boosters, but everything looks sleeker. So I think that's sort of something that continues on throughout all of the designs. What does Zarya's look like? Ooh, I like. See, I'm a pretty decent Zarya main, so I'm used to seeing classic Zarya's like sparing armor, but like it made sense because it was mostly supposed to be circuit boards and sending energy around. whereas this is almost like a futuristic version. Everything's a lot sleeker, it's a lot more built in, there's more armor. The armor that was there is now extended up her body. The wires no longer as visible. And they changed her haircut to give her the lesbian ponytail. Which I think is quite cool. Ooh, her gun design as well. Yeah, do you see what I mean? Like, the guns were always the more rounded elements of them, and they were always quite nice and interesting. But seeing the guns also expand... Zari's went backwards, hers is now more angular, but I think it works because it looks a bit bulkier. It looks like the technology or whatever that was used has been expanded upon, but it takes up more space. Either that or it's supposed to be more powerful. Because you can also see those floating rings where the graviton would be, which I think is a very nice touch. I think for a little bit I'm going to be playing with some of the classic skins, like the newer skins. I think out of all of them, Orisa and Lucio have the biggest changes. Yeah, ooh. Yeah, Orisa has got a basically complete overhaul for her look. Going from the previous defender type relaxation, almost Baymax in a sense, like more comforting but also having a strong position, into going into more warrior style with the darker, almost camouflage color schemes, the new headdress, which I think is quite fun. They changed her classic horns though. They got rid of those amazing horns, which made her silhouette very unique and made them accents on top of the headdress coming down, and gave her wire hair, which I think is in relation to her creator, which is quite nice. Yeah, they also changed up her kit, which I think that's what that's in position to. I don't hate it, I don't love it. Like, a lot of Orisa's skins are always hit or miss, especially in the old games. Some are just better than others. So I think Orisa having at least a bit more of a warrior style makes her stand out a bit more compared to a lot more of the we're hard tanks. Reinhardt as well, I think, is also another big difference. Yeah, his armor was a lot sharper. It had more curved, like, exposed areas around the arms and the legs, but on the shoulder pads and the helmet especially is a lot sharper, versus the newer look, where everything has been rounded out. The only sharp hits that now remain are on his feet. Call me a slave, I don't like no helmet Reinhardt. Because in my mind, I have the same issue when it comes to, like, Destiny 2 My Titans. Having the helmet makes the armor look solid. It makes it look like armor. Missing the helmet, I think, is a very stupid idea. What other one should we have a look at? I want to have a look at Symmetra. Symmetra used to be an old, like, favourite main of mine. So I'm very curious how they've changed her look. Yeah, this is old classic Symmetra. So, nice and sleek, futuristic, not too much detail, because it's supposed to be more movement-based. Into... Ooh! I like this. They've given her now proper leggings. They've furthered the technology with the gold accents she used to have on her clothing, and have brought them up to her whole body. The helmet is more, like, futuristic, almost like her Oasis one, but not quite there, sort of a mid-ground. And she's got this nice royal blue that accents beautifully with that gold colour scheme, and the white as off-colours helps make everything bleed together a lot harder, because it helps section off areas that otherwise would be, like, connected together. Because you could just as easily believe that the shirt ends with that arm, rather than having the almost white undershirt, or at least white section that helps break up from where the chest area ends and the arm begins. And it also helps segment and highlight that royal blue a lot better, because it helps separate it from what looks to be blue underneath the white section, where they would possibly have bled together. So very smart design. Soyeon, this is another new character that hasn't made it into the current game yet, because they're waiting for this game to air. So, interesting. I do like her design, at least. She's got almost cyborg feels, which I think is supposed to be the point. Robot grasshopper legs with robotic arms. I have not seen anything on her, so that may be a part of her kit, it may not. Now, the one character I was incredibly looking forward to the redesign of, to finally be able to see myself, was Sombra. Because, I don't know if you know this, I hate Sombra's design. Some of her skins have made her better, such as the point of Thulium, which is my personal favourite, because it just helps give her an actual, like, silhouette. Because this is the problem when you do characters with jackets. The jacket themselves sort of closes them off, it makes them more box shape. So they try to counter this by making it a outer jacket and then an inner jacket, each with different cut-offs at points. Which helped, but the problem is that her body is still closed off, and because she moves very tightly, she's a very small, like, moving character because she's supposed to be stealthy. It makes her silhouette and her form a lot less interesting, especially when viewed at certain angles. Like this, if you just blacked her out, she's very, like, indiscernible. There's not much detail to pick apart from her. Whereas they moved on to Classic 2, and they helped change that design. The previously encompassing jacket has now slimmed down and got rid of the really stupid arm designs, which I hated, and given her more sleek gloves. So this helps break up what was otherwise a really singular, large chest area, and has now segmented it, because they've also changed how her feet look and brought it upwards. So instead of having her whole feet this purple into bluish, they've now made it purple to blue to teal, and they've made it in the style of leggings, giving her foot armor, which I think helps break up her previously quite boring design. And they've also changed the angle, so instead of having it straight cuts, it's now angled cuts. So it helps almost move her design away from her body and gives her a more sharp, almost dangerous feel to her, which suits Sombra. I like sharp Sombra. I like evil, I'm gonna hack all your shit and mess with everything Sombra. Now, Echo is another one I haven't seen yet. Not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of Echo's design. This one I wouldn't have minded if this was her Overwatch 2 look, because it has a lot of similarities with the Overwatch 2 looks, being a lot sleeker, it's a lot smoother, everything just looks higher future. Whereas her now look is pretty much the same, they've just further metallicized it. So they've given her leg joints that previously weren't there, or weren't as noticeable before. It's basically just adding extra detail where detail wasn't needed. There's not a lot of change. To me, it looks like they may have extended her faceplate slightly. It's very unnoticeable if you're, like, not looking for shit different. Yeah, I don't see a lot of changes other than, like, the backside of her wings, but even then, it's not a lot. Bastion has become the goodest of boys, from what I have seen. Because he now has smoother down. He's now been worked on by Torbjorn, so he's got a style of Torbjorn's turret almost. And he's also got Torbjorn's little hat, which I think is adorable. But no, I kind of like this. It's almost what the Bastion units could have been if, like, the war never happened. I have also seen how broken he is, but unfortunately he was broken to begin with, so it hasn't made much difference. Hanzo, I believe they gave Hanzo a more modern look, because this was very feudal Japan meets cyberpunk. There was just not a lot of detail to him, whereas now, yeah, they've sleeked up his design, added in more black-out ninja stealth clothes, which I think are quite cool. It's okay. My personal favourite still is his casual look. I don't know what it is. I just love, like, fancy-looking Hanzo. I need to find them. Yeah, Skion and casual, and Hanzo wearing actual, like, formal clothing to me suits him more. But that's just a personal thing. Ash and Bob, I'm not sure have any changes to them. They probably have. I haven't seen it. Oh, they have. Right, let's have a look. So this is old classic Ash. Old Cowgirl. Into... not too much difference. Ash has definitely had the biggest shake-up compared to the two of them. Bob's jacket has just got further details, more accents, more gold, and he's now got that belt on him. Ash's jacket and the look has completely changed. So she's gone from old Western into almost modern Western. Bringing the robotic of her arm down, changing up her jacket to have accents of red. Almost denim-coloured jeans with the light blue and dark blue. I believe they've brought her boots up as well. They have. They've changed up her boot style, made it sleeker, made it darker. Gave her a black and gold colour scheme with hints of red, versus her previous white and almost grey and brown. She had a lot of colours, but certain areas didn't really look right. They just didn't really put the right positions of colours and how it could have best accented her. Whereas now they've changed it and have. Zenyatta. I have seen Zenyatta kick. I enjoy Zenyatta kick. We might do some Zenyatta kick. Ooh, okay. So the biggest shakeup for Zenyatta is he's now got a scarf, which I think is quite nice. It helps accentuate the monk feel with these. They've changed up his pants, not too much difference. I got worried because I thought they had tied his legs together, but I think they're just two red bands on his legs that happen to almost look like they tied, which made me a little bit nervous. I like them anyway. It helps break them up, the legs, so that you actually know where he's bending, but at the same point, kind of unnecessary. We didn't really need the extra red detail. The belt has changed. It's now got like some sort of power pack on the front of it, or at least some kind of divider. The orbs have changed as well, going from previously single color with like barely any hue change for the ends of them to complete color swap. Bright gold with blue and white, which I think are very cool looking. So right. I would also like to have a look at one last character before we switch, and that is Moira. Because I like Moira, I'm an aggressive Moira. Moira is probably the most egregious because her outfit just screams needles, which I think is the point, but her outfit is very, very sharp, so I'm wondering how they've changed it. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so they've changed... It's mostly now become asymmetrical, which I like because her outfit was asymmetrical. They've moved up this putrid purple arm up, almost like corruption spreading on her. They've moved that now up fully to the top of her arm, so you can actually almost see how the corruption has spread to her. She's got new haircut, everyone does. I like it. I believe it's a pixie cut, I could be wrong. They've given her a more, almost lab colours. So now instead of having the black, murderous, evil Doctor, it's now classic white to brown Doctor feels with accents of purple, which are nice. They've changed up her boots, given her padded leggings. Actually, that almost looks like a straitjacket. That could be interesting. An almost straitjacket Doctor. No, I like it. I like a good few of these like newer skins. There are a lot of them that's cool. Genji's only change, which join me if you think this is hilarious, because I will never stop laughing about this. The only change they made to Genji, they gave him clothes. That's it. They just gave Genji clothes, which I understand because there isn't a lot you could do with him, but it does make me chuckle. Tracer as well, what we've seen. Tracer was one of the first released. I like the more running aesthetic. I like that they cleared up her leg area, gave her proper like track bottoms, smoothed out a lot of her chest area, helped give her a natural like fully silhouette without too much clutter going on. Most of the clutter is in her chest area, which is important because that's where her Chrono Accelerator and most of the story comes from. But helping break up where the arms end and where the jacket begins by adding these extra flares, I think was important. It almost gives her an X-Wing sort of shape, helping make her look more aerodynamic and bring it back to the jet feel, because she was a jet pilot. And so that's what some of her original design was based off of. but it's very like simplistic because most of the technology covers it, whereas now they've found a split between where the technology begins, being the center of the chest and the arms, and the old bomber jacket she used to wear, or pilot's jacket. So I kind of like that. I like New Tracer. I like a lot of the new looks. Some of them miss the mark for me, others don't. It's just a case of we have to see going forward what is going to stay and what is not going to stay. We haven't got competitive yet, we don't have arcade yet, we've got training, custom, and unranked. So we just got the practice range, custom games, of course, and unranked. Okay, so they're keeping this. So this is one thing that I hate that is currently in the new game, and in the old game, is this stupid role select. Right, I had to stop there, sorry, I was taking a drink. The reason I hate it is because it doesn't work. Because, unfortunately, in games like this, most of your player base is going to be on the damaged characters. Especially in Overwatch, I believe the damaged players outnumber the support and tank players by about triple. I could be wrong, you can correct me on that, I don't care. But because of that, when you're playing DPS in any game mode, it's really difficult to find them. Yeah, so currently we have more tanks and damage because Junker Queen's come out and most people want to play Junker Queen. Fine, whatever. But unfortunately, it's simply a case of there isn't enough character types. We can't, like... I'm going to explain this really badly. There just isn't enough to work with. I'll explain this again later. But we just don't have enough players in different areas to make it viable. Oh, it's 5v5 now. Okay.
Don't worry, I'll be right behind you.
We're gonna leave that just for a minute. Ooh, okay.
Thanks, but I already have a bodyguard. Hello.
Good to see you.
How's it going?
It's about to get real.
Very cool. You can kind of tell the graphics, like, boost.
Capture the objective.
Not much change to Mercy. Okay, so they've changed up how the... What is that? Is that Zarya? Ooh, okay. So they've made the boosting easier. Okay, so it's a bit of a freeze as well before you actually... This is quite cool.
What happened to you?
Who's his staff? Is that Zara?
Thanks for the help.
Ooh.
But damn it. That one's on the house.
Whose ability could that have been?
Treatment ongoing. Boosting your damage.
I still plan to get you.
Jumpers on purpose! Stand behind me, friends!
Capturing the point.
Yeah, see what I mean about more damage players than anything else? Whose ability is that? Is that Sojourn's even? Has to be, because I don't know any other character that could have something similar. Oh my word.
I am the Junker. Ich sollte schnell zurück.
Oh, okay, so that's how it... Huh.
Improving
Damage.
your vitals.
Hit. Oh, healing. Damage, healing... I'm going to assume that is time on point as well. It's odd being in 5v5 situations.
Heroes never die.
Pick up your feet. to fall. Come on
Oops. You know what? Let's try something.
Together, we
Ooh.
are strong.
Okay, those are now charges.
Protecting you.
Oh,
Gathering energy.
okay.
This ends
Fine. But okay, so that's odd. So before, Zarya's 2 orbs were on different types, so you could only use them one at a time. Whereas now, you can activate both at once, and they have a joint cooldown. Okay. I don't know how that's going to work going into competitive, but it's interesting.
How's it going?
Let us proceed with haste.
It could work. It could not work. We're kind of going to have to see.
Привет. Hold this position.
Okay, so yes, that is
Hello.
Sojourn's.
What? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture.
I think I'm going to be very happy watching new Zarya's emotes. Wow, the quality of the quality has definitely gone up. As you can just kind of see from how the game itself behaves and the lighting system, it's just an improvement. Like, old Overwatch was very, like, limited in its lighting system, whereas now they've been able to fully branch.
Knocked out.
Eh.
Claim this objective. Maximum charge.
Ooh, okay. So they've changed up her. I do like new Zarya gun. That is quite fun.
They can't hurt you. Call that a bot?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna let you just get on point.
Hey, catch! Gracie!
Keep it coming.
Oh, there's the Discord. Yep. Okay, so yes, that is Sojourn's abilities.
Time to crush.
Huh. Okay.
This town just ain't big enough.
Oh, okay, so Junker Queen can heal herself.
You can take me! Let's find out!
Obstacle is fixed. Stay put. Try me. Gathering energy. Fire in place.
Oof. That was a hard push.
Bring me energy.
Wow, that is a lot of charge.
It's a gun time.
Nice.
It's hand.
Round 2. 1. Try me. Score
That wasn't that bad.
2-1.
I definitely think that the
No time for
5v5 is not a good idea. Because the Order of Overwatch worked because you could have 2 of each role and you'd be fine. But with 5v5, it's pretty much 2-2-1 or 2-1 or 1-1-3. It's very or 2-2-1. It's not going to be good for team compositions to be able to figure out new strategies. Especially when so many characters have had their abilities changed. So trying to find new strategies from pre-existing ones with new characters is going to be a lot harder. Because of how few characters there are. Oh, that's a new area. That's a new entry. Wait. So I can bubble 2 people at once, which I think is quite fun. Because Zarya is now definitely going to be able to help in the push. Bubble your 2 frontline DPS and you're golden, or bubble yourself and a Reinhardt, and no one's going to be able to get past you very easily.
Fire in place.
Trash Hanzo. If you have to use the Sonic Arrow to try and win a fight, you're not good. Alright. We're just using this time to go through different characters. Oh, I haven't actually seen Farah. Whoa! Oh, okay, it looks bigger. In actuality, it's actually not. You have a bigger fuel gauge, but the problem is that your fuel goes down like nobody's business. Wow, that was a lot. That was a massive hit. Oh, right, wrong button. I keep thinking that I'm using that.
Stop mucking around and move. Making
This is
another
definitely not
approach.
a good queen.
Messy, but we got it done.
Messy, but we got it done. Wow, this looks so much better. Busan is one of those maps that I vehemently hate because it once you get the point, it's very, very cruel to the fucking pushers.
Engage. Junker Queen.
Oof.
Outnumbered. Stay sharp. Got a burr in your side.
Yeah, see. For DPS with one healer is
Let's show
very
him
good.
some
Is going to be
airshine.
probably the new strat. Mostly because healers, especially group healers like Zenyatta, that can heal quickly, are indispensable, and the amount of damage they can pump out on single targets is insane. Like 2 DPS for a hard rushing a tank will probably out damage the tank and kill them. Like before they can even do anything. That's why Bum Rush strats are so powerful. Because there is just nothing you can do against them.
Fields online.
Alright, let's give our old pal a try.
Humanity
Ooh.
is shackled.
Very nice, very nice.
I will find the key.
I'm taking the point.
Yeah, that's always funny how they opposite damage and heal. Where it's like you would think the orb that you want to use is on the same size as the button, but it's not. It's actually opposite.
Tactical visor activated.
They lower her range, possibly. Wow, Zenyatta shoots a lot quicker.
Damn it.
These are all Xbox players, aren't they?
I've dealt with cynics before.
No. 3 of them are PC players. That's why.
Apagando las luces.
See, this is also another thing. Crossplay is not a good idea in these games because PC players are always going to have the advantage. Yeah, players have it. Yeah, consoles have aim assist, but the amount of bonuses that like PC players get by just the thing they use is insane. Like, I guarantee you that would have been a lot different if it was console versus console. Okay, so that's still a bit slow, but that's probably because it's still in beta. Yeah, everything is still a bit slow. Oh, it's very cool. Very cool, very cool, very cool. Let's not do that. Let's go in as a... Okay, so support and tank. Are you able to... Okay, so they're not doing priority passes right now. Let's head into the back of this range, have a look at a few new characters. Because I definitely want to try out Junker Queen. And we need to look at Diva. Oh wow, that was quick.
Traveling to New Queen Street. Traveling to New Queen Street.
Ooh! Canada. New location, new location. Probably Sojourn, right? Sojourn's Canadian?
Prepare for battle. Select your hero.
Okay, so... Oh, okay, so this is the default. It's 1 tank with 2 damage and 2 support. Okay. And the skin changes up there now. Alright. Let's go for Combat Mega Gazebo. Ooh!
I'll be right behind
This is really cool.
you. Greetings.
Oh, this is so awesome! Oh, at some point we're definitely looking around at these maps. This is so cool. The Toronto Raccoons. Curling Club. Oh my god. Curling. Ah!
5, 4, 3,
Oh, this is so cool.
1.
Yeah, I'm not going to... Oh, this is the new game mode. This is that new game mode, the Push the Robot, which is basically just escort. Okay, so the robot stays static. Or for a few seconds even.
Let me tend to that. Starting the push. Come on. Try to keep up.
This is going pretty well. Let's keep this lead.
Let's try it. Lower. There's a Moira. Do this.
Connected.
They've got a Zarya? No. Okay. This is definitely different. It is very odd, this game mode. Oh, bugger. Well, I would have loved to heal you, but the problem is that we're also in a fight. Which means I'm not going to heal you if you're not in the fight.
Let's return to my post.
Oh no, do you have to keep walking it back and forth? No. Oh, I hate that.
Heroes never die.
I've got you in my sights.
Enemy's got the robot. Don't let him get away.
Settle down.
Moving with the robot.
Moving right along.
This ends now.
Yeah.
I'm ready to run.
Where in the hell?
Ready to rampage.
Over there.
Maybe not. Let me tend to that.
Who is in charge?
Who is in charge? Yep, so you kind of need to contest them. Okay, so armor is now green. Or bonus armor is now green.
We're moving.
I could use some assistance. Heroes never die. I'll make sure that doesn't stop. Sniper, get back something. Push it on. That's what I heard.
Approaching the final destination.
Need some assistance.
Ooh, that was close. Nice, nice. Of course, there's Bastion, there's always Bastion. Hey,
Victory.
nice. Oof. That wasn't bad. It's odd, and I'm definitely not as much of a fan. This game's a lot quicker now. Like, rounds aren't actually as long as they used to be. Which isn't necessarily a really bad thing, but they definitely need to... That was kind of what made the old Overwatch very, very cool, was that these fights took a while, so it was a lot more strategy and a lot more building up and planning your assault, preparing your push and preparing a counter push. Whereas now, it's whoever does the most damage, which I'm not a great fan of. I definitely foresee Control becoming the most popular game mode again. I do foresee that. Let's go Ash. Oh, we haven't seen Classic 2 Ash, actually. What does Classic 2 Ash look like? Ooh! I like it, I like it.
I
The
will
castle.
not
Yep, I like
leave
it.
a broken world behind.
Ooh! Actual, like, a modern day-ish BR.
Isaiah.
I like it. Very cool!
Yes.
Very, very
I'm
cool.
in.
Wait, is this the Diva bug? No, Diva's face is fixed.
4, 3, 2.
Oh, they've given everyone the visual for being in Lucio's speed boost. Oops. Which is like their feet grow green. Shuts. Glow green. That's actually really fucking cool.
The objective is now
Be careful. Keep them in. I'll keep you up.
They have definitely shrunk that area.
Gotta stay on your toes, soldier.
I needed that. This will cut the pain.
Come here, Toki. Making damage.
Oh, okay. That may be Chunker Queen actually then.
Don't fret. I see you.
Aw, you must like me.
Get it and feel. I'm here. Keep fighting. No recovering.
Ah, thank you.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Oops. Boostio! Boostio! Oh! Oh! Oh, Jesus Christ.
Thanks. Hello. Zayek.
Hizaic?
Beat it up, everyone.
So. Each. Okay, so oh right, every healer gets Mercy's buff. I forgot about that. Every healer now has Mercy's perk, where if they're undamaged for a certain amount of time, they're going to heal themselves. I don't like that because it made Mercy like really unique. Oh right, jump cancel, can't she? Okay. I forgot about that. I don't bother. We still got time to like make a push, so we're fine.
Hello.
Oh, and one of them left. Yeah, I know.
I've got you.
Thanks for the help. I need healing.
It's da 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 da.
You're powered up. Get in there.
I every shot there.
Hold it. Cooling down.
I'm hoping Bastion is less health because of this.
First round. 1.
That was interesting, at least. It's odd because they've made some changes that aren't great, but they've made changes that also are. Like, I don't like that they've given every character Mercy's heal. I just don't.
Well, maybe I gained a little too.
Because that was kind of the only
Clear heads.
really good thing
Sharp
Mercy
eyes.
had going for her, because they've nerfed her healing into the ground. Her res is also basically useless because of just an insane cooldown, and her ult just has the same problem. It doesn't have. It has the same healing output, just spread across everyone around you, which other characters have, but better. The like self-healing and the quick reses were like the only thing Mercy had going for her, and they nerfed them both to the ground, and in this game giving it to everyone else. So unfortunately, even as a Mercy main, I don't see myself playing Mercy anymore, because she's just not worth it anymore. She doesn't have the bonus she used to, or the viability she used to.
Capturing the point.
She was real aggressive.
I've got you.
Ow.
Sure. Don't mention it. My ultimate is charging. Taking damage. Disrupting.
Yeah, I know you do, but unfortunately it says everyone else.
Amid discord, we will find
Ooh. That's new. Just further just newer, more interesting designs. Huh? Oh, he might save that. Oh, there he is.
It's go Should have ducked.
Boom, should have dapped.
defeat cannot break one who perseveres.
Ooh, maybe. Hey!
Victory.
Please no race. No, this isn't bad. I do not like the 5v5.
Play of the game.
Just on the fundamental. Because it breaks up so many previously interesting team compositions and completely destroys the need basically for teams. This is the problem when you do 5v5 in like these types of games. If you have roles on them, you can't equalize on odd numbers. You have 3 sets of character groups, so unless you introduce a 4th one, to which point would act like a floater between like groups, you're never going to be able to like make the games fair, because you'll either have too much damage with no way of blocking it tank wise, or too much damage and not enough ways to heal it healing wise. Especially because support characters, we haven't had one since Moira. No, since Brigitte. That was the last support character we had, and since then we have had, I believe, 3 damage characters and 2 tanks. And now coming up to 3 and 4. Because we got Echo, we got Ashe, and we've now got Sojourn after we had Brigitte. And now, tank-wise, we got a Reset after Brig, we got Wrecking Ball after Brig, and we got Sigma after Brig. And now we're getting Junker Queen. Tanks were fine. Junker Queen is a nice bonus to them. But support, we need more support characters, because we only have the 7 versus the 10 of tank, and I believe 20? No, near 20, 5, 10, 15, 17 damage characters. We need at least 3 or 4 more support characters, and we need buffs to the ones we have, because Mercy is not viable. Ana is okay, but if you can't snipe, she's dog water, plus the fact you can't shoot through injured teammates hinders her, because she can't be in a snipe off and you can end up being killed by your teammates. Baptiste was a welcome addition. Oh yeah, Baptiste was actually the newest one. Before Baptiste, we only had 6. But Baptiste was a welcome addition because he stopped you from dying. His healing output was was moderate, it was fine. But his ability to stop you from dying has made him a top pick, because you time that with an ultimate, and the ultimate is completely wasted. He is a counter to basically every single DPS that does not have a damage over time effect. So he can't counter Ashe, He can't counter Echo, he can't counter Reaper, he can't counter Torbjorn, because their ult time lasts longer than his field. Ashe has Bob. Bob is a brick wall. She is basically, once she ults, you have got a free tank. That is what makes Ashe so powerful, because if you time Bob well, he is busted. But he also shoots you. He does consistent damage over time. Baptiste's field only prevents you from dying. It doesn't heal you. He has to heal you. So if Baptiste ends up dying, anything with damage over time effect is going to kill your team. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of waiting. Now let's try the tanks. I want to try Junker Queen. Yeah, it's a good first beta, but they really need to work on certain character balances, because these are stuff that players have been asking for in the first game. Is a buff to Mercy again. Symmetra,
The true enemy of humanity.
I don't think they've changed her. They might have. I don't think they have. No, they haven't. So I'm one of the weirdo. Ooh, her gun has changed too. That's quite nice. I'm one of the freaks who liked Symmetra Generation 2. So what if, for those of you who are new players or never played Symmetra before, I wouldn't blame you. So Symmetra used to have her 6 turrets. So she currently has 3 that she can like get back and throw out, and they were ranged. Before, they worked like Torbjorn's turrets. You had to put them down, you could have 6, and they were whatever. Her teleporter used to be her ultimate.
My teleporter is
So
online.
she used to have to like save up an ult for it. Oh, I hate that effect. Ew. Ew. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, and it's on the time limit now. Okay. And this shield Percy's got, this used to be mobile. So she used to be able to move this forward similar to Sigma's. In fact, pretty much like Sigma's. I wouldn't lie to you if it wasn't like early Sigma build. But she used to be able to do that, and she had another ultimate where she'd give people armor. Like, she'd give armor over time, or her teleporter. She had the option. She was the only character to have ever gotten 2 ultimates at once.
You got too close,
And I think that was where she was at her best. Because she was still a good tank buster, she could still do decent damage, but her kit made her more versatile. She used to be able to actually support her team as a damage, which made her very, very powerful.
Knife.
So how does... Nope. Alright, how does this work?
To me, Gracie.
Did I kill someone? Okay, so
Softy.
probably like...
Down goes another
There we go.
pretender.
So sort of like a Roadhog one, unless they've nerfed
Here,
it.
Gracie. You call
Okay,
that a
yeah, it's
fight?
basically Roadhog. Okay. Because I imagine you could also... Oops. Yeah, that's just straight.
Oh, are you done?
Well, I imagine you could probably do... Never mind.
Should have done
Okay, so that gives... Okay.
it. To me, Gracie.
Okay, so you can do that, but that's very, very slow. Okay, so increased fire rate, and...
Someone
No.
shot
Okay.
ya.
So it's just bonus health. Okay.
Time for the reckoning. Gracie, come. Should have got out the way. Give up.
Alright then. it isn't bad. Like this isn't. It's not a bad game. The problem is just they need to do tweaks. They need to edit things, because the problem they have is that Blizzard do not change shit. They are very, very, very stubborn. We see this a lot in World of Warcraft, like discourse, but Blizzard is very, very stubborn when it comes to their game changes. Because the problem is that they just don't plan ahead. Because, like, I see this game being a lot of fun, but unfortunately I see it being the opposite of, like, cases like Fortnite and Halo Infinite. Unfortunately, apart from the pros, I don't see a lot of chance that players are going to enjoy the player versus player, simply because the characters are not built for it. Almost every character has been, apart from the newest two, has been built for large-scale 6v6 conflict in mind. Every character was built for longevity, damage, buffing, or support. That is what they were built for, that is what they were made for. But unfortunately, because this game is now quicker, and it's now 5v5, the longevity aspect of a lot of these characters outside of self-healers is gone. Hanzo and Widowmaker were really powerful because not only could they do high damage from range, which made them very, very broken, same with Ashe actually, all three of them did really good damage at range, and they were the only few characters that could do it consistently. But they had a lot of longevity as well, because Hanzo got his dash, Widowmaker had her grapple, and Ashe has her shotgun. All three of them have really quick and easy ways of moving around the map and getting themselves out of danger if they can't handle a fight. That made them leagues above of a lot of other DPS, such as Reaper. Reaper has his invisibility, but the problem is that he doesn't gain speed while in it like Moira does. He's still slow. Because of that, it also meant that players could track him. If a Reaper went into a fight solo against a group and tried to invisibility and walk away and like float away, they'd just follow him because he would be an easy target. But with Hanzo, Ashe, and Widowmaker, you couldn't do that. They could move too quickly. Their abilities let them escape a lot quicker than any other character outside of mobility-specific characters like Genji and Pharah. They were designed to have long fights in mind. They were designed to set up, hold a point, help at range, and then move with their team, or if shit went south, dip from the point quickly to save ult and not feed. But unfortunately, because this is now 5v5, a lot of these DPS characters now don't have that longevity in mind. They do too much damage, and we don't have damage sponges. As we saw, it was 2 damage, 2 support, 1 tank. If that becomes the baseline, if that's the normal, it's never going to work, because tanks are obsolete. There is too much damage, and too much healing, and you're never going to have a damage sponge. Competent DPS will always flank, kill the supports, and then you have 2 damage and a tank to deal with. And if you're a competent tank, probably going to be able to ace it pretty quickly. Reinhardt, Zarya, Winston, and Sigma, and Orisa, like the anchor tanks, are probably going to have a... Why is Doomfist a tank? I just clocked that. Why is Doomfist now a tank? Okay, ignoring that one, because that is bizarre. Because he used to be a damage. I don't know why he's a tank now. these three all have barriers, and they all have ways of protecting your teammate while you're not there. Reinhardt, not as much, because he physically is his barrier, but Reinhardt is really good at punishing players who come close to him. You cannot get close to Reinhardt and expect to win. You have to outrange him, outflank him, or basically whittle him down over time, because you have to try and get past his physical barrier, because once that's down, he is a sitting duck at range. But Orisa, Sigma, Winston, they cannot put down their barriers, fuck off, do something else and help their team from behind. Zarya, as we've seen, and as I said, could bubble 2 DPS that were on frontline, turn around, help the supports at back, and then be back to the front lines instantly. But healers don't have that. The only healers I can see possibly now becoming viable again is Baptiste, Moira, Lucio, and Brig. Ana simply doesn't have the damage output or the healing output to withstand. Her anti-heal is great, but they've now given it to Junker Queen, which means if Junker Queen becomes the default tank most players go for in metas, Ana doesn't really have a use, because her anti-heal is now given to someone else. Mercy is in the same boat. She's great. Her res was incredibly broken, but then the pro players complained, and she got nerfed into the ground. Even in Overwatch 1, there are very few players who start with Mercy at the beginning and keep her, because Mercy is specifically designed for forward pushing now. She is only good if your team consistently wins, consistently moves, and actually knows to watch their health, because her healing output is dog garbage. Her boosting is great, but you have Zenyatta for that. Zenyatta, instead of boosting your damage, lowers the enemy's resistances, so they take more damage. And instead of it helping only one person, it helps the team on that one person. It's like reverse. And Mercy used to have the bonus of she could survive fights really, really quickly, because she self-healed, which meant the other support didn't need to keep an eye on them. The supports used to be able to have one Mercy and one other healer, usually Baptiste or Brig, and those two would be the ones healing the team, whereas the Mercy helped the tanks and the Brig or Baptiste because they can't heal themselves. But now, because every support has that self-heal, Mercy no longer has that use. She's become obsolete. She isn't useful anymore. No one's going to pick her. Zenyatta is still going to be picked. Zenyatta won't be picked as much, but he's still quite powerful, because making your opponents take more damage, especially in the old game where you had heavy-duty tanks like Reinhardt, Roadhog, and Orisa, making them take more damage and whittling their health down was such a powerful move, because it could help your team bust through a difficult line once that tank was down. But now, there is no point to it. We don't have any need for damage sponges, which means Zenyatta's role is now just a high damage support. Zenyatta does really good damage because he can push fast. His orbs are objects, they deal more damage on anyway. They have an area of effect hit, which means that so long as you are in the reticle when it hits you, it will hit you. Thus, it's almost similar to hit scan in that way. But he has damage drop off, so he can't snipe people, but he can still do decent damage at short to medium range. Most other support characters can't do that, because this is the problem Blizzard just won't address, is that a lot of the support characters are not very good. Mercy is obsolete, Ana is very situational, Zenyatta is situational, Baptiste, Moira, and Brig are all incredibly powerful. Lucio's healing is his worst aspect. No one uses Lucio to heal unless the fight is over, because his speed boost is that useful. Moira is... You've seen me play Moira. She is an incredibly powerful backline attacker. She can cripple an enemy from her quick attacks and still heal her teammates from behind the enemies. Brig is basically a secondary tank. She acts like another damage sponge. Her shield is incredibly powerful for protecting herself and closing off areas of attack. Baptiste's cancel is incredibly powerful for basically one-shotting any DPS or any one-shot tank ultimates. D.Va's ultimate is completely useless against a Baptiste, because if a Baptiste times their invulnerability perfectly, her ultimate has no effect. It doesn't work. Neither does Reinhardt's. If a Brig is in front of a Reinhardt and he ults, it's going to be cancelled by her shield. A lot of ultimates are cancelled by those two alone, which make them top picks. So I think I need to play more of the game. I'll probably do that on my own time. I've shown you a bit of it, and I like the game. I like Overwatch. Overwatch has been a backbone of my life, and it's very, very fun. My only problem is not the game itself, it's the company that run it and moderate it. They just are not paying attention to what is working and what is not, because they're too busy listening to the pro players who are telling them what works and what doesn't, when pro players specifically play against other pros. They don't deal with this stuff on slow, moderate basis. They deal with it over long periods. And a lot of pro players are just not very fucking good. Pro players are pro players because they put in the time and effort and work, and I respect them for that. But the problem is that they don't know what works for a character and what doesn't. They say what they think needs to change and what they want to change, but that doesn't mean it's going to work. They destroyed Mercy because of it. They've destroyed Symmetra because of it. Because these characters used to be very good, they considered them too good, and so bitched and moaned until they're in the dirt, buried 6 feet under, and now they're good characters, but they don't play them. Symmetra used to be very, very broken, but once they got rid of her tracking, like her auto-track lock-on attacks, I think she was perfect. Generation 2 Symmetra is flawless. She was perfectly designed. She could hold a point, she could do decent damage, and she wasn't broken. You could push her line back well. But because she didn't heal, they bitched and moaned, and Blizzard threw her in the garbage. The same with Mercy. Her res was too broken, then it got patched, then it was too broken again. Her healing was too good, even though it wasn't. Mercy has never had the best healing of the game since the game came out. They have nerfed and destroyed characters because they don't play them, see someone else who's put in the time and effort and plays them well, thinks that's the default for these characters, and so bitch and moans until they're buried in the ground. That is the only problem with a lot of these games, is that a lot of the players that the companies listen to do not play these characters, do not know their kit, get fucked over by better players, and then bitch about it. So I see this game being a massive success at the start, but it's gonna die out. Because Blizzard will not change if they do not think it's broken, but it is broken. These PvP modes are not going to last, because there is not the cooperation you need anymore. There's not the drawn out fights, there's no of the fun of the original Overwatch. Everything is too quick, the damage is too high, the ability changes are garbage. Orisa's was perfect. But the problem is that they've changed a lot, but they've not changed it for the better. Alright, that is my current overview of the game. I love Overwatch, I've been playing it for years, it's very fun to me, but I'm looking at this logically, and those are my big complaints for it. So that's going to be me now, signing off. I'll probably do another stream, if not of Overwatch, a drawing stream coming up, but in the meantime, this is